Now, Will, before we get into obviously you making your big league debut this past season, I just want to ask you, just being a professional ball player in 2020, man, what a time to be alive. I mean, obviously we all saw it kind of fall apart in March, and spring training everything gets stopped, and we didn't even know for the longest whether we were going to have a season. And you guys got going late June, or was it late July? Actually, I think
Late
um,
July.
had a
Yeah.
60 game schedule, which I will say this from the fan perspective, it was a blast. I mean, I watched more Braves baseball this summer than I'd probably watched in the last couple of years come back. Because I'll be honest, like, I'm a baseball guy. I played in college, actually played at Newberry College. But as a baseball fan, it's one of those things where I'm sure man, you get into like July, August, you get in those dog days, and it's just hard. It gets hard to watch. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many games, but in that 60 game format, it's like every game, every series matters. But again, for a lot of 2020 for you guys, there was just so much uncertainty. Are we going to have a season? I mean, other guys I was talking to, I saw, a couple of former South Carolina guys were working out in Greenville and Charleston, whatever, just trying to stay sharp. I mean, what was that like for you? How did you maintain? How did you stay sharp? Because again, I know the minor league season was completely lost, but obviously you didn't have to worry about that. But I mean, what was that like for you, again, just dealing with that uncertainty?
Yeah, it was weird. We were in camp, and the COVID bug hit. Right when we got there, everything was kind of going AWOL in Seattle, and everyone's like, "What's going on?" And no one really thought anything of it. Everyone's like, it'll pass. We're playing. We're going, and then it gets into early March, right before we shut down, and it's like, all right, everyone, like, wash your hands, like, don't sign baseballs, don't sign autographs. Like, fans are still there, but like, if we're gonna sign them, we ended up starting, like, every morning they would put like 50 baseballs in a box in the clubhouse, and like each of us, like, so the rookies would sign like 40 of them, and then like a couple of big names would sign.
Right.
And they would go and throw them out to the fans. And that was like kind of what we did. And then funny thing was, the last game that was played before everything got killed or shut down, the Nats were playing the Yankees at our facility with like 8,000 people. And like, there's a full stadium, everyone's like before the game, they told us, hey, we're playing, but don't be surprised if, like, as soon as it's done, you guys go home. And it's like, wow, what is going on? And then, we play that game, and by like the 7th inning of that spring training game, it's coming out that like spring training camps are being shut down. Players don't know what they're doing. So then we're there for like 3 more days, and it basically said, like, you're probably going to go home. We might keep this open, we might not. And then I ended up getting sent down to minor league camp, which meant immediately you're going home. So like, they told me on like a Tuesday that I was getting sent down, and to like pack my stuff up. So I packed my stuff up, and I walk across the hall to the minor league side, and it was like, and now you can go home. So it was like really odd, but get home, and they said at first, they were like, all right, take 2 weeks and just kind of play light catch with whoever you can, and then do like a week-long toss, and then throw 2 weeks of bullpens, and we're going to be back. That was like the time period. Right. Like 6 weeks, you're coming back. And we're like, okay, sounds good. So we do that, and then it goes like full quarantine mode. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, no gyms, no nothing. Right. Luckily, Chad here at College of Charleston, he was letting us get on the field, and they had a bike, and he was letting us go out to the stadium. And I was like doing dumbbell squats and dumbbell curls with tarp weights on the baseball field, like picking up tarp weights and doing stuff, and like doing as much as I could out there. And that's kind of what quarantine was for, 4 weeks. And then they kind of started opening stuff back up, and we're still playing catch every day and throwing 2 to 3 bullpens every week, just staying in shape, not knowing what's coming. And then, like you said, late July, or it was probably June 15th, they call or do the meeting, and they say, all right, we're playing a 60-game season, be here in 2 weeks. And it's like, okay, sounds good. You're coming to DC. And, yeah, it was hectic, but, it was good. It was good to be home. I got my first summer, like, in, I guess, since TJ, but before TJ, I didn't, like, I've had 2 summers in, 15 years. And, my wife's family has a place in Merle's Inlet, and we went up there, and we were up there on the boat and hanging out and doing the beach stuff. And that was super nice. We had a great time doing that. But other than that, it was kind of hectic, and we were just trying to get by and stay away from the COVID and stay ready for the season.
Yeah, I remember the first week it came back, and I think, what is it, Jeff Passan? That's one of the big MLB guys. I remember watching ESPN, and that first week when the Marlins got it, and you're like, oh my God, here we go. This is we're about to be shut down before we even get going. I mean, I'll ask you again. And I think, was the roster expanded for this season? Like, they had more guys, right? Was that one of the reasons, like, you got which I guess that benefited a lot of guys. I mean, a lot of guys got their shot this year.
Yeah. So it went to 30. So it's usually 27. Next year it's going to be 28, but it went all the way to 30. So it kind of gave you that extra spot. But even with the Marlins situation, when you went on your like 2-week COVID list, kind of like football's doing, they can call up whoever they want, and you can call up prospects, you can get free agents, like you can do whatever you want. And they give you that expansion. If you have 14 to 20 whatever players out, you can add 20 more players. You just got to know when it comes back to it, you're going to have to send some people down or let people go. So it was crazy. We get into season that none of us thought we were going to play. And I have a buddy down here who played at Clemson. His name's Dominic Leone. And that's who I throw with. And he was like, man, there's like, his agent was saying it's probably not going to happen. My agent was like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. And then, 3 weeks before, it's like, all right, you need to gear up. If you ain't been going, you got to get going. It's go time. We really didn't think it was going to be something. And then the Marlins get it, and everyone's like, oh, and like, that was our division. We missed the last 2 weeks of the season. Really, one of my last start. Is that right? My last start. Yeah. Was against the Marlins because they had that COVID outbreak. We missed 3 games against them earlier in the season, and my last start was against them due to that. And it's just crazy that it all happened that way. And I was glad to get the season in. I didn't know if it would make it, but it's weird. It was a weird year. You go to the hotel, you can order food, but they have to drop it off at the front desk, and you can't come in contact with them. Like, the front desk would then bring it to your door, knock, and leave. Like, you had security guards on each floor. Like, if you went to the lobby at night to like get your food or go to get water at the front desk or something, the security guard's standing there waiting for it. He's marking your name down, like making sure who you are, like not leaving the hotel. Like, it was weird. It was very different, and like flights were they charter flights, but they're getting these huge planes instead of like compact ones, because every player or personnel, anybody who's on the plane has to have their own row. And it's like one person's in a window, one person's in an aisle. Like, they're trying to get us all spread out. And it was different, but it was a great experience. You still have the clubhouse that you get to be around the guys and have that team feeling. It was nice to get that and be able to have a little bit of normalcy. But it was definitely an odd year, that's for sure.
Well, and again, that 2020 season, let's move into the peak of it. You make your major league debut August 22nd, 2020. You started, again, like, ironically enough, against the Miami Marlins, the second game of a doubleheader. Again, maybe not quite how you drew it up, especially with the way the 2020 season was. But, I mean, just talk about that, man. I mean, getting to make your major league debut, get out there. I mean, you really reach the mountaintop. You know what I mean? The goal you've been fighting for your entire life. I mean, just walk me through, what was that like?
Yeah, it was a great day. They told me the night before. My wife was actually home, and I call her, and and she's excited. She ended up driving back, and in DC there's a bar on the top of the hotel in left field, and she's sitting up there watching the game on the TV, which is like 30 seconds behind the PA system that she can hear. So like, she's like hearing stuff, wondering what's going on, and this.
Yeah, because I was gonna say, no fans, not even like family or anything.
Nothing. So, different stadiums had it like louder or quieter. Like, Park, they had a little bit of like white noise that kind of sounded like a little bit of fans. But like the Marlins stadium, when we played there, it sounded like we were at a beach party. Like, it was like a million. Like, that day that I pitched the second game, I walked out during the first game to like just watch a little bit. And like, it was like blowing my eardrums out in the stadium. I'm like, holy, this is wild. And no one's there. You know, you got some reporters and that's it. And just some people who can take pictures. But it was an experience I won't forget. You know, I go out there, my heart's beating. I'm probably sweating more than usual. Felt like it was 1,000 degrees. But you know, it was awesome. Like you said, I everything I've been working for, you know, I made it, you know, and it was a great day. It was a lot of fun. Like you said, it wasn't the end result, you know. I don't think any of my starts were, but the experience of it, you know, getting my feet wet and getting the opportunity, and now just, you know, pushing me to fight for more. You know, I know I can compete at that level, and I know I'm ready to compete at that level. It's just now, just, you know, when that opportunity comes, let's just, you know, grab it by the horns and let's just run with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what'd you learn from those starts? Because again, there were some ups, there were some downs, whatever. Like I said, you got your feet wet. I mean, I'd imagine though, just the emphasis, like you were saying, on attention to detail. I mean, these are the best hitters in the world. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars too. You know what I mean? So, like, what'd you take away from it? I'm just curious.
I mean, my biggest thing was that it's the difference between them and a AAA hitter, technically, is everything's just a tad smaller. So like, they miss, it's a tad smaller miss. You know, they take, it's a tad smaller take. You know, everything's just confined a little bit. But they're the same. You know, the same pitches are going to get the same people out. Like, if I compete and I make my pitch, it doesn't matter. And I think I got a little passive, and I'll be the first one to say that. You know, I was trying to be too fine. And these guys at the big league level, like, if you're being fine and you're picking at corners and you're trying to, you know, you're trying to beat them around instead of in it, they take those pitches. And that's what I learned. And like, you know, even with, you know, Acuna, and when I faced the Braves, Acuna and those guys, you know, I give up, you know, a home run to like Austin Riley, and it's like a hanging slider, and he should have killed it. Well, then, you know, I strike out Acuna on a two-seam fastball that I threw chest high right down the middle, you know, and they're going to miss their pitches. They're going to miss, but they know, you know, like, if it's not there, they know. And just about competing in the zone and just being there. You know, you can't nibble at this corner. You can't be like, all right, I'm going to throw this pitch in this spot and he's going to swing at it, but it's going to be a ball. It doesn't work like that. You know, they're going to sit on their pitches. They're going to fight, and they're going to use what they do to do what they do best. And you've got to, you know, beat them with your stuff. You know, they're not going to sit, and you're not going to throw a 58-foot curveball and they're looking for it and they're going to swing at it. It's not going to happen. You know, you get those funky swings by what you do in the pitches before, not by throwing this nasty pitch that they've never seen before.